on, guys? Mitch Muller here with MindsetEmpire.com, and this video is special because it's going to be a remake of the very first video that I put on YouTube. I think it was like in 2011 or something ridiculous. It was just a spur of the moment thing. Now, at the time in this video, the video is called Pre, Intra, and Post-Workout Supplementation, and I went over what I took pre-workout, intra-workout, and post-workout at the time, right? Okay, so years have gone by. I've gotten a little bit smarter, a little bit more educated with the things that I'm doing. There's a ton of hate in the comments and stuff. You're taking way too much, this and that, whatever. Like, I know, we live and we learn, and that's great. So this is an updated video for you, new in 2017. What I use pre, intra, and post workout, and I keep it super simple. At the end of the day, your food is going to give you the most benefit, but when you add the supplements in, they can add just that little like extra 10% or so for your results. So let's get started. Boom. Starting with pre-workout. Now, there's a million different pre-workouts on the market right now, and they all have a different mixture of almost the same ingredients. You have two different types of pre-workouts that you can go for. You're going to have more of your pump formula, which is going to have a lot more arginine and citrulline malate and all those things. It shouldn't have as many stimulants in that because, as you know, arginine dilates the blood vessels, and any type of caffeine will restrict the blood vessels. So if you see a pre-workout that usually has both in them, they're going to be kind of fighting each other just a little bit. So there's some companies that have a really good pump formula, and then they have their like high energy type pre-workout, which usually has a little bit more stimulants, caffeine or a DMAA. Some companies still have that, even though I thought it was illegal. But this one is Mesomorph from APS, and I don't use many pre-workouts all the time, and it's only situational. So if I'm exhausted one day, or it's just whatever I'm feeling, I just need a little bit of a pick-me-up, I'll add it in. But this isn't an everyday thing, just because I need to give my adrenal glands a break, right? Like, so it's kind of goes the same thing if you were to take a fat burner. If you take a fat burner, like at the beginning of when you're trying to diet down, like why wouldn't you just save that for when you actually needed the energy, like later on when your calories were lower? You see what I'm saying? So it's very situational. So this one by far has been my favorite from APS. Mesomorph has been unreal. Not many pre-workouts. I really like the taste, and I mean, I'm not going to promote everything specifically because, as you'll see, all my stuff right now comes from multiple of sources. Moving on. Next on the list is Citrulline Malate. Now, arginine used to be, when I first started lifting, over 10 years ago, arginine was the big thing, right? NO products where it's going to increase the blood vessels, get a really good pump. Now, 2017, all the research is pointing towards Citrulline Malate. It's way more powerful than arginine, and it's just way more effective. So, and what I kind of like, when you pair it up with that Mesomorph green apple, it kind of gives a little bit of like a sour apple taste, or like Sour Patch Kids or something like that. So it's actually really good to add to it. I add about 5 to 10 grams into my pre-workout, depending on how much is actually in another pre-workout, if I want to add that in there. But sometimes I'll even just have some amino acids and that's it. So I don't need any stimulants or anything like that. I just want to get a really good pump. So play it by ear, whatever workout you're doing for that day, what your goal is for that workout. Do you need energy or do you need more pumps? Just pick one. Next on the list for pre-workout is creatine. Now, you can use this in multiple times of the day. But for me personally, what I like to do is have 5 grams, which is all you need. In my last video, I had like 10 or even more, which you don't need. It's super cheap. This one is from Universal. 5 grams pre-training at some point. I've kind of found that when I take it right before training, it kind of sits in my stomach weird, and I just have a weird feeling while I'm training. And since then I started switching into like 2 meals prior. I have a shake. I just added creatine in there, so by the time I get to my training, everything's fine. So that's just going to vary person to person. But I would take this pre and post workout. If you were to take them, or were to take creatine at one time over another, I would definitely suggest post training to help replenish your creatine stores. And if you have red meat and all that stuff, you probably have a pretty good amount of creatine already. So, okay, the last one I want to mention, the basics of everything. If you are not hydrated, you're not going to train optimally the way that you should. You're going to feel like complete crap when you get into your workouts. So I usually have a staple is 2 gallons of water a day, plenty before you train. And another good point is I have about 2 shakers full as soon as I wake up in the morning before I eat anything, because that kind of sets you for the day with your hydration, and then you continue drinking more on throughout the day. So don't forget your freaking water. Now, intra-workout. BCAAs more than anything else to help kickstart protein synthesis. Some people can argue, is this absolutely needed? No, it's not. You don't have to have it immediately, or while you're training or after training or whatever. Any type of BCAA product, which is usually going to have at least a 2 to 1 to 1 ratio of leucine, the most, isoleucine, and valine, or valine, whatever you want to pronounce it. It's going to have that in there. I've seen upwards of 9-1-1, but the most important thing is that your BCAA product should have a ton of leucine in it. And if you want to add extra leucine on top of that, you can get that in its powdered form and its pure form, although it tastes like complete crap, just to let you know. But a standard BCAA product, I put about 15 grams in water in a shaker while I train. So it gives me something where I'm giving my body some amino acids. And you know what, if I'm cutting or if I'm in a low calorie state while I'm training, this could even provide me with some energy if I need it. My body's going to use it up extremely rapid. Because of the amino acids. They're already broken down, they're easy to use. So BCAAs, you can use these any time of day, like as soon as you wake up, before you go to bed, whatever you want to do, middle of the night. They're good all the time. It just helps your nitrogen balance over time, which means you're going to have your protein in your system all throughout the day, which your food should do, but when you add this in, then you can get a little bit more like in between meals or something like that. So intra-workout, BCAA, this is the best. And another one that I want to add to intra, depending on where you live, actually this can work for anybody. I've heard it argued the difference between having electrolytes, which is your next one to have intra-workout, pre, intra, or post-workout. I would advise against going pre-workout because you kind of want let's say more of an acidic state while you're training. It's just naturally what it is. So if you try and alkalize your body with certain things before you train, it's actually going to inhibit a little bit of the training effect that you would want to get from like high lactic based workouts and things of that nature, where you're doing lots of volume, lots of reps, lots of soreness. So electrolytes would be your next one. I add this intra-workout, usually just a stick packet or so. The ones I had are Rehydrate from Advocare. Very great product. It's super clean, and you just add that in there. So it's starting to replace your electrolytes, because you don't just lose water, you lose electrolytes too, which is why I'm a huge advocate of salt, if you guys know that. I live in Arizona, all right? This Tuesday, 3 days ago, it was 120 degrees outside. Some places it hit 121, right? So it's hot as hell. And when you're sweating all the time, just walking to and from the car, like, you need your electrolytes, so don't forget it. I would have it either intra or at some point post to replenish. Now moving into post-workout. This guy right here, I can tell you right now, when I first started training, I'd say the first even 5 years or so, I had absolutely no idea that I needed carbohydrates after training. The only thing I heard was the bro science that you need protein in order to build muscle, which is true, although it takes energy for your body to add new muscle to your body. So after you're done training, your body is going to be in a state where it's like, yo, I need energy, I need to get back to a like homeostasis, to a good balance, and then I'll care about protein. So post-workout, this is extremely important. You want to have some sort of fast-acting carbohydrate. This is the most simple form, maltodextrin. You can, if you don't have this, you can get Wonka candies or Pixie sticks. Those have a ton of maltodextrin in them, and it's just absorbed really, really fast. And there's also some other products that you could go into that have, like glycocarn is one, or there's a lot of glycogen type products that have a mixture of very, very fast absorbing sugars that are going to get the job done. Because remember, we want to spike insulin after training. You spike your insulin, and then you shuttle all those nutrients into your muscle cells in order to grow, right? So this is number one, more than protein. The ratio of protein to carbs to protein would be 3-to-1. I like putting carbs first because you're having more. So 3-to-1 carbs versus protein. Now, how much protein can you actually absorb post-training? That's going to vary based on your size, how much muscle you have, your metabolic rate, all these different things, your digestive system, your how well your gut health is. So I usually have about 20, maybe 25 posts in like my off season when I'm trying to gain muscle immediately right after training. So what this does is it allows, okay, you have a higher amount of sugars, let's say 100 grams or so of sugars post training, which is going to vary workout to workout. But if you were to add in protein, then you would be able to shuttle a little bit of those amino acids to kickstart protein synthesis immediately right after training, because they're going to attach to the glucose molecules in your blood, and they're going to get shuttled by the insulin into your muscle cells for fast recovery as soon as you're done training. So it's extremely important. This is isomorph. It's just any type of whey isolate is going to be your best friend. Hydrolyzed whey is even better. It's super, super fast absorbing. Of course, you can always go with food post-training, but this is the best. Remember, this is a supplement video, okay? I look at it as optimal versus good. And if you want to have food, that's good, but if you want to have supplements to complement that, it's optimal because it gets into your system a whole lot faster. Okay guys, there you go. That's pre, intra, and post-workout supplementation. Redoing my very first YouTube video that I ever did that has, I think it's close to 70,000 views on it or something like that, a decent amount. So I wanted to correct a little bit of the things that I used to do wrong, which is great. So you can go watch that video and see the things that I used to do and how I've grown going into this one. I've simplified everything a ton. Now, is there more stuff that you can take? Absolutely, 100%. But if you're trying to build muscle, especially if you're a beginner, start with the basics. You don't need a whole lot. If I were to pick 3 that you need to start with, creatine, BCAAs, and whey protein. You can always get carbs from food or other sources or different things like that right after you train, but those 3 I feel like are my staples. It's like those are the main ones that I get every single month, and you can add on different stuff later. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, click in the first link in the description below. I'm going to be giving you guys a free 30-day muscle building program. It's completely on me. It's all written up, all the workouts, the full explanation, everything is there. All you have to do is click the link to download it. Also, click to subscribe. I really appreciate it, so you guys will get updated every single time that I add a new video, which is going to be every single week now. So, thank you so much for that, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.